Being a quintessential Filipino artist, Fernando Amorsolo, our very first national artist for visual arts, has become the reference point, whether subconsciously or not, of Pinoy art. At least that's the pulse I'm getting. And if I'm wrong, perhaps it's just my own pulse. Looking at Eunice Logro's Andang Sinigang, I'm reminded of his works depicting the Filipina maiden cooking the old-fashioned way. Of course, women in Filipinana attire existed before Amorsolo's time, but our culture will forever associate him with a theme that it's become his signature, his trademark, like he invented them himself. So that's such a feat. Other masters like Malang and Anita Magsaysay-Ho have made the Filipina in their own style and have become famous for it, but we will always think of Amorsolo when we see a dalagang Filipina like Logrong's Andang. She may be a dalagang Filipino, but her cheekbones and facial bone structure remind me of Angelina Jolie. Anyway, according to Logro, the artist, Andang is whipping up sinigang. She has a palayok and the accompanying wooden spoon. Unlike Amorsolo's women who cook in the field, Andang is preparing her sinigang in a very dark and almost empty kitchen, except for the bulb and table. She may be cooking against a dark background, but the dim bulb is powerful enough to provide light to the table where the palayok is. Andang has her eyes closed and waves the spoon like a magic wand. It's like she's making a wish. We don't know what she had just put into the palayok. The scene makes me think of a witch chanting Shakespeare's double, double, toil and trouble. At least here we see the witch's ingredient. With Andang, we don't see a single one at all, whether on the table or in the palayok, which brings to mind the biblical story of Elijah and the poor widow. The widow and her son were so poor that they were ready to die of starvation after preparing what they thought would be their last meal of a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil. But because the widow showed faith and obedience to God's prophet servant Elijah by offering him bread from the little that they have, her empty jar became miraculously bottomless, providing the widow and her son all the flour and olive oil that they needed during the drought. I'd like to think that our andang is more like the poor widow, praying in faith that even though the palayok may be empty, God will provide not just flour and olive oil to make bread, but all the ingredients to make sinigang. All of a sudden, the bright light in the painting is not just a bulb light for me, but it represents God, who is the light of the world. Am I seeing too much into the painting? Maybe I'm seeing faith. God is essential, is always essential. Art is essential.